Hello, everyone, and welcome to ABC, All About Canada, a program that informs, educates, and inspires our fellow kababayans with important issues happening in the Philippine Canadian community. I am Rovic Canono, your host, and today our topic is the 5 tips on how to build your credit score in Canada. And our guest for today is a regulated Canadian immigration consultant and now a financial professional who is licensed in British Columbia, Alberta, and Ontario. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Carla Mecenas.
Hi everyone. Happy to be here. Thank you po for inviting me.
Welcome, welcome, Carla. Kamusta ka na?
Okay naman po. It's a beautiful sunny afternoon here in Vancouver.
Uh-huh.
Kamusta po kayo?
I'm fine, I'm fine. Oo nga, springtime na di ba?
Yes.
Okay, so nabanggit mo, taga Vancouver ka, British Columbia, which is actually where I am also. Sa Philippines, saan ka?
So, I was born in Manila po and then lumipat po yung family namin sa Bulacan. So, taga Plaridel po kami. Hello po sa mga taga Plaridel.
Ano
Yeah.
ba ang product ng Plaridel kapag mayroong pumupunta
Nako,
rito? Anong food?
nako, I'm not the best person.
Kasi ang gusto ko sa Bulacan, yung inipit.
Yes, oo. Malapit po kami sa Pulilan and then Baliwag. I think doon po maraming mga delicacies eh. I think chicharon din, malapit lang din doon po, right? So I think yun po ang delicacies doon.
That's good, that's good. All right, okay. So, baka gusto mo kaming kwentuhan muna bakit ka napunta sa pagiging financial,
Hmm.
sa naging involved sa financial industry.
Yeah. So basically po, I came to Canada in 2015. So 9 years na this year. I came as an international student. So ang background ko po talaga is hospitality industry. So restaurants, hotels, right? And then pagdating ko po dito, yun din po ang pinag-aralan ko. And then I just work my way through residency. But, hospitality industry is really not for long term, right? So I decided to again pursue immigration kasi I think na sa life ko po dito sa Canada, it's all about, papers, figuring out how to stay, all those things pa, right?
Uh-huh.
That was 2020 before pandemic. So nag-iisip na po talaga ako to jump into immigration. And then I studied in UBC po and I got my license in 2022. So actually, while I was studying, I started working in an education and immigration company already. So yun po yung nagbigay sa akin ng experience before I even get my license and I take care of the Philippine division. But before that po, bago ko pa makuha ang license ko sa immigration and bago pa ako makapagsimula sa work, I already started in the financial industry. Right? So basically, nung gusto ko pong mag-quit sa restaurant, I was just open for, other opportunities, whatever come my way. And then this opportunity was presented to me by a very good friend of mine. So sa akin po, I just jump in and then I just figure it out, as the years go by, right?
Mukhang
Pero
nag-enjoy ka na dyan, ah. Mukhang very
hindi na umalis.
cooperative. Ah.
Yes po. So that was 4 years ago, 2020. I just started part-time, right? And then eventually after 2 years, I, transitioned to full-time. And yes, I still do immigration pa rin po. I still work with an immigration company and we service a lot of, students, LMIA, spousal, everything po. We can do that, even school application. But I think the reason I decided to go all in the financial industry is because there's a huge need in the market, right? Actually, according to Stats Canada po, 91% of Canadian population is not on track to retire or wala pong enough retirement savings, right? And through my years of experience here, actually, it unfolds na medyo totoo nga po yun. So I think, for me, not many people, regardless if you were born here or you immigrated here,
Mhm.
don't know really much about finances, right? Yun pong sinasabi natin na financially education, it's not always available, right? They don't know how money works here in Canada. I think especially for us Filipinos, we sacrifice a lot to be here. Di ba po? Like for greener pasture, right? But the thing is, to have a better life here, hindi po yun like 3 jobs, 4 jobs,
Yeah.
right? But especially us Filipinos, we're very hardworking, marunong makisama. Honestly, gusto ng lahat ng employer, ng ka-coworkers, right? And, but for us, all we know is just keep working, right? So for me, I really just siguro for myself po, I really just want to be financially educated here first. And then I get to love what I do because not only I can help, some people come and stay here, but I can also help them set their financial future well. So for me po, both industries work very well together.
Great. Alam mo, napakaganda ng topic mo for today and
Mhm.
hopefully next time, batay sa sinabi mo, ako rin interested. A lot of Filipinos come here na medyo may edad na.
Yes.
Sabihin natin 40s,
Mhm.
some 50s.
Yes.
So
Mhm.
siguro next time maganda magkaroon ng episode na ang title para bang retirement plans, financial stability for those who just migrated or migrated at late stage of their lives. Di
Yeah,
ba? All right.
for
Okay.
sure.
Next
I'd be
time na
happy to
maganda yan.
discuss that po. Yes.
Okay. So bakit naman importante pag-usapan yung credit score or to build credit score?
Yeah, actually, when you ask me po what will be my topic, kasi financial industry is very broad, right? Like I feel like marami pong kailangan silang malaman in the very beginning, but I really pick what's I think very important, which is credit score, dahil it involves everything that we do here, right? With buying a house, even renting a place, buying a car, even educations, even as simple as bills and also insurances. Like credit scores affect everything. And the earlier that we know that, the earlier we can build it right. Right? Kasi dito po, sometimes it doesn't matter how much money you have, but if you don't have credit scores, it doesn't matter po, right? So that is something na very different po from our country.
Precisely, oo.
Yes.
Dahil hindi natin kinalakihan yan, ang
Correct.
credit score na yan, ay pagdating dito, para bang napapabayaan o kaya na
Hmm.
hindi nabibigyan ng importansya ang credit score.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
Mhm.
so mga kababayan, papasok na tayo sa 5 tips on how to build your credit score.
Mhm.
Alright? Sige.
Yes. Okay po. So basically, unahin ko po muna what is a credit score,
Yes.
right? For people who doesn't really know it. So basically, a credit score is a number that helps lenders to determine how well you will handle your credit in the future. Kasi nga po, sa atin sa Philippines, hindi naman po lahat ng tao may credit cards, right? And it's not very easy to obtain a credit card. Pero dito po, as you can see, even students, even newcomers, binibigyan na po tayo ng credit cards, right? But there's a lot of reason behind it, right? But for us na hindi po sanay mag-handle ng credit cards, nami-misuse po natin siya or nami-mishandle po natin siya, right? So credit score is very important because it determines your, again, credit report, and yung lenders, yun po ang batayan nila how much they will offer you, right? Or kung i-approve ka po nila or kung papahiramin ka po nila, right? That's why credit score is very, very important. So, what determines your credit score po and how it's divided, it's not just about paying monthly, right? So, first thing po is payment history,
Alright.
right?
So ito na ba ang tip? Nasa
Yes
tip,
po. Yes.
nasa tip number 1 na tayo, which
Yeah,
is?
yes po. So tip number 1 is regarding your payment history, right? 35% po yan sa credit report po natin.
Mhm.
So payment history, you have to make sure you pay your bills on time or few days ahead, right? Because you have to be aware of weekends, right? And also the timing. Sa atin po, usually ang mga companies po talaga is based on Ontario, which is Eastern time. And they are 3 hours ahead of us, right? So, and also you have to take note na it takes 2 to 3 business days for it to reflect on your report, right? So basically, you have to make sure that you allow few days ahead of time to build your to pay your credit cards, right? Ang tip po dyan is that you just set an automatic monthly payment,
Okay.
right? Regardless of minimum payment, but you have to set it as automatic.
Alam mo yung iba, mga bago dito, kasi may sinasabi na you have to pay at this before this deadline.
Yes.
So kunwari ang deadline January 30, Alam mo
Yes.
nagbabayad yung iba January 30, thinking na automatic credit dun sa from their
Yes.
bank, maki-credit dun sa credit
Yes.
card nila, which is
Mhm.
hindi po, 'di ba?
Correct. Hindi
Eh,
po.
hindi nila alam na isang taon na pala silang nagde-delay,
Yeah,
'di ba?
exactly. Yes, opo. So, unless sinet po nila sa minimum payment, if they can pay the whole amount, at least sa minimum payment po, dapat manually po kasi yung sineset-up, right? It's always not automatic. And then if you miss 1 month, meron na po kayong, kumbaga report na you missed it, right? Even though you don't realize na hindi niyo naman po sinasadyang mag-miss ng payment. So that's a
Ang akala niya, "Uy, deadline, okey ako, pasok ako."
yes.
Binayaran ko, nag-transfer ako, deadline, eh,
Yeah,
lang.
exactly. Mhm. And not just that po, 'pag yung January 30 ay nag-fall on a weekend, it doesn't count po. Ibig sabihin nun magre-reflect pa po yun the following week.
True,
So,
true,
delayed
true.
pa rin po yung payments na yun.
So bago tayo magpatuloy, bago tayo mapunta sa 2 or sa mga susunod na tip, may
Yes
tanong
po.
lang ako. Baka meron kang statistic or information, in
Mhm.
about 10 Filipinos, ilan ang maganda ang credit score? Meron ka bang ganyang idea?
Honestly,
Or in
sa
your
Fili sa
experience?
sa
Or
Filipinos po mahirap magsabi. Honestly, mahirap po magsabi. Pero, ang average daw po ng Canadian population may tatlong credit cards. May tatlong credit cards po. Which I will talk later on bakit hindi po magandang maraming credit cards. Yun
alright,
yun
okay, sure.
yeah, I
Yun
will
muna.
save it for later. But the exact number for Filipinos po, wala po, but I will get back to you on that.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Oh,
can research.
walang problema, baka
Yeah.
lang ako meron.
Opo,
Bigyan mo
yeah.
ako ng ano, kung papasok na tayo sa 2, kung tapos ka na sa
Okay po.
yeah,
Alright po. So, okay na po ako dun sa number 1 and then number 2 naman po.
alright. Tip
Okay?
number 2 on how to build a high credit score.
Yeah. Okay, so number 2 po, super important is the amount you owe. Right? 30% po 'yan ng credit score niyo po. So, a good rule of thumb po is don't go over 30% of your limit. Right? Don't go over that. Kasi ibig sabihin po nun, you need to always owe money if you use your credit card more than 30%, right? Pagka po ba nag-over tayo sa 30%, it messes up our credit score? Hindi naman po, right? But if we wanna build it fast, right? Lalo-lalo na po yung kung meron po tayong hinahabol na let's say to mortgage approvals and all of those po. If we wanna build our credit score, 20% lang po talaga. Yan ang good standing. And if we wanna build it fast, 7% lang po,
Alright,
right?
hold on. So let's talk about Canadian dollars, in
Yes.
dollars. Okay, so kunwari 1,000 ang iyong credit limit,
Limit.
credit
Mhm.
card. So
Mhm.
sige,
So, kung 1,000 usually sa mga students po 1,000 lang talaga ang binibigay for first year,
okay.
right? So, kung 1,000 ang credit limit mo, obviously it's a trick. Hindi lahat 'yon gagamitin mo, right? 30% lang dapat nun, a good rule of thumb, ang gagamitin mo, which is
30%, which is 300.
yes, correct. $300 lang po. Yan ang good amount, right? If you go over that a little bit, syempre hindi naman po biglang babagsak ang credit score mo. Pero if you really wanna build it fast, then you have to maintain that.
Hmm,
So, ganun po siya. Hindi lang po dahil nabigyan tayo ng, 10,000 credit limit, we're gonna go, way past that, right? Kasi it's a trick by, of course, the lenders or the banks, right? If people don't know, the interest rate of credit cards are 20%, right? And if it's compounding, napakalaki po nun. I've witnessed a lot of ang sasabihin ko po, not to be biased, but a lot of immigrants are really drowning in credit card debts.
because siguro nga no experience sila
Yes.
sa on
Mm.
how to handle and na may importance of
Mm.
credit score,
Right.
kaya nabigyan sila ng ganito, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Ginastos nila, shopping time.
Yeah. Isa din po yun. That's what we call bad spending habits, right? Kasi ang credit limit niyo po, that is not your own money, right? Marami po sa atin ang mentality is that, hey, if I have a 10,000 credit card limit, that is my money. No, that is not your money, right? But most of the time po, because when we come here, we don't have a lot of cash. So
Mm,
yun po muna ang nagagamit natin for emergency.
mm, mm.
And syempre, if ever na may mga unexpected na gastos, dun po kumukuha, right? But if you want to take out money, okay, yung mga cash advance po, mas malaki po ang interest rate nun kaysa sa amounts owing ninyo. So just be very, very, very careful po when it comes to that.
In your experience naman, sa ako, sorry, medyo nagpa-practical questions
Yes.
lang ako.
Hmm.
Meron ka na bang nakita na napakataas ng kanyang utang sa
Yeah.
credit card and kung meron man how much kaya yung sobrang taas na yon na hindi niya mabayaran? Na ang
Yeah.
babayaran lang niya ay yung tinatawag na minimum.
Totoo po yan. 70,000. Yeah,
70,000.
70,000. Yes. Kasi hindi lang naman po isang credit cards yun eh.
Oh my
Right?
gosh.
Hindi lang naman po isang credit cards yun. And talagang why we say they're drowning kasi talagang minimum lang po. That's
Okay.
70,000. Actually, one of the CEOs of the brokerage I work for, dun po siya galing. 70,000 in debt.
Oh, I see, I see. Oh,
Yes.
na-cure na.
Yes, okay na po. Matagal na po yun. That was like more than 15 years ago. But lately in my practice, ito pong masasabi ko, even the younger generation, kasi yung tao po na yun has a family, immigrants, na lay off, yun po yung mga sunod-sunod na challenges, right? But, right, iba-iba pong cases yan. Let's say, for example, younger generation.
Yeah.
What is their, kumbaga, reason bakit sila nagkakaroon ng credit, ng utang, right? Bad spending habits, right? Lots of shopping. Right? And then even yung cash flow nila from the job, sometimes 2 jobs pa nga po eh.
Mm.
Right? But the thing is, it's not about the necessity, it's about the wants.
Yes.
Right? Meron, like in my case, I already helped, I believe, 3 people just last year with debt consolidation. Right? I will talk a little bit about it regarding debt consolidation because that is one way to help people with have a lot of debts po with
Alright,
their.
that's a good one. Alam mo sana sa Philippines kahit na nasa elementary pa lang, high school nagkakaroon na ng maraming changes sa education din actually na hindi na I would say applicable. Oo, sana yung mga ganyan, isa sa subject yan financial
Yeah.
ano kayang subject yan? Financial security or financial
Yeah,
responsibility.
financial literacy po talaga,
Literacy, yeah,
right?
that's right. You
And
are
I
right.
think even dito po sa Canada, it has to be talked about.
That's right,
It
that's
really
right.
has to be talked about po. Yeah.
That's right. Oo, alam mo dapat sorry alam mo dapat yung ibang immigrants bago dumating dito or pagdating merong mga ganyang mandatory, hindi yung optional lang, mandatory.
Yeah,
Oo, 'di
totoo
ba?
po.
At
Totoo po.
1 week kang rito about environment protection, about financial
Totoo.
literacy, something like that, you know?
Yeah, health insurances, yung mga ganyan po, 'di
Oo,
ba?
kasi nag-aano sila tawag doon, nagiging part sila ng Canada community. So dapat
Correct.
ano sila,
Honestly po,
nagiging
that's a very good point po, you know. Whenever I talk to someone here, I know, syempre, nagstay po tayo sa Philippines for such a very long time. Yun na po talaga yung embedded to us, right? But if you're planning to move to a different country, you really have to know what happens there. Right? Hindi po, like, nakakapag-adjust po dapat tayo on how the rules, regulations here sa ibang bansa rather than bringing everything we know from Philippines. And then it doesn't apply here po, di ba? So
Oo,
that's.
kung ako lang ang masusunod, bago maging PR or bago maging citizen, 'di ba Mete? Siguro meron ding 1 week na on your own, free time, may certificate ka, ibibigay 5 certificates on one is financial
Totoo po yan.
literacy, one is protection of the environment, something like that. Anyway, sorry, nawala tayo. Okay, pero good point, it's a realization on how important is to be uh,
Mhm.
to have knowledge on the financial aspects.
Mhm.
Papasok na ba tayo sa tip number 3?
Yes, correct po.
Right. Okay, mga kababayan, ang pinag-uusapan po natin ay 5 tips on how to build your good credit score in Canada at papasok na po tayo sa third tip.
Mhm. So for our third tip po is new credits. Yan, 10% po yan ng whole credit report po ninyo. So what it means by new credit is that, you know, when people have 2, 3, 4, 5 credit cards, right? When people apply for credit cards frequently, right, it probably indicates a lot of financial pressures. So hindi po masyadong maganda that you have so many credit cards,
Mhm.
right? Kasi every time you apply po for credit card, your scores actually went down a little bit.
Mm.
Right? Ibig sabihin po nun gusto niyo pang umutang in the future,
Yes.
right? So before opening a new credit card account, it's very, very smart to consider whether having that extra credit card is worth the drop in your credit score,
Mhm.
right? So syempre po ang mga lenders, mag-iisip po yan, right? It's not just about like, okay, you wanna borrow money, but how can you repay that? Right? So yung credit report po yung nagdedetermine on how well you pay for your money that you borrowed. So yun po siya. So just not because inofferent po kayo ng 1, 2, 3, 4 banks, right? We have countless of banks here. Meron pa rin po tayong credit cards sa supermarkets, all of those things, di ba?
Everywhere, yeah.
Don't say yes all
Mm.
the time, right? Kasi you think that, oh, it's free
Mm.
signing up, free money, right? It's not. It's a trick that gives you the, kumbaga, it's a trick po na para gamitin mo siya in the future, right? It's all about that. Kung wala po kayong makikitang credit cards, wala po kayong magagamit, right? So,
Siguro ideally mga dalawa lang ano?
yeah, ideally, dalawa lang po talaga and I think control yourself din po. Right? Yun din po yun, di ba? It's better to spend the money that you have instead of spending the money that you don't have. Yun po.
Alright. So yan ang tip number 3, new credit.
Mhm.
Alright. Ano, may idadagdag ka pa o papasok na tayo sa
Yeah, 4 na po kasi I think yung credit card, konting ano lang po siya.
okay. Mga kababayan, papasok na po tayo sa pang-apat na tip on how to build a good credit score in Canada.
Okay, so ang pang-fourth po natin is length of credit history. 15% po yan.
Yan.
Right? So, kaya nga po tinuturuan natin or gusto nating matuto yung newcomers regarding the credit score because I have, siguro mga, hindi naman po madami, pero let's say, I would say, mga 3 people that they did not use credit card or they didn't really open it. Kasi why? Takot po silang gumamit ng credit cards, right? And that is one thing na dinadala po natin from Philippines. But it's very, very important na yung length po ng credit history ninyo, right? So from the time that you open it and it's in good standing, that's much better, right? If you have a credit card and you don't use it often, then no problem, right? But make sure, right, yung balance din po na na-own natin sa credit card natin, don't stay there for too long. Right? So for newcomers, it's okay to have a credit card. Open it, use it, right? But the reason why we give these tips is that para ma-use niyo po siya on your advantage and not on your disadvantage, right? Because isa din pong factor yon kung gaano na po kayo katagal na ginagamit yung credit cards ninyo. But also, right, going back to my first tip is that how much do you owe and yung payment history niyo po. So lahat po yan madedetermine since the day na binuksan niyo na po yung credit card niyo and ginamit niyo po siya. So yun po ang important and especially for newcomers.
Alam mo, naalala ko tuloy, meron ako na-meet sabi niya, wala akong credit card.
Yeah.
Wala siya dito. Sabi ko, bakit wala? Sabi
Mhm.
niya, kasi ayoko na may utang eh. And then
Mhm.
I told him, yun ang kailangan mo sa credit score eh.
Yes.
Diba? Oo.
Correct.
Pero hindi na kami nagtagal dun sa usapan na yun. Yun lang
Mhm.
sinabi niya sa akin, wala akong credit card. Oh, okay. Mm.
That's very hard. That's very hard if you don't have credit card here kasi
Halos hindi siya makakabili ng bahay siguro.
yeah.
Baka yung misis niya.
Yeah, but realistically po, dito sa Canada, we revolve around credit score,
True.
right? Yun po yun. It's really not just the cash that you have,
Mm.
right? Especially po, di ba, for buying a house, there's 2 things po that you have to, sorry, off topic, pero it's a very important factor kung bakit kailangan niyo pong magkaroon ng credit card, right? Dito po, kung hindi man po kayo bibili agad ng bahay, car. Right? And if you wanna loan the car, kung wala po kayong cash na talagang mapapangbili ng car, then they have to check your credit score.
True,
And
true.
kung wala po kayong credit cards, then wala po kayong mapapakita. right? You will never be approved. So napakahirap po nun, right? It doesn't matter kung meron po kayong 200,000 cash. It really doesn't matter po,
Mm.
right? You have to have credit score. Actually, for me, I remember din po when even if you want to rent a place, apartment, condos, 'di ba ganyan na po tayo ngayon dito, marami na pong rentals na gano'n. They also check your credit report,
Oo nga,
right?
nakita ko yun. Isang requirement sometimes, you know? Oo.
Yeah, opo. So super important po nun, don't be scared to open a credit card. Right? There's a lot of help, especially sa ganito pong channel that we just want to share what's the importance of it. Kasi it's better to have it and not use it than not to have it at all. So,
That's right, yeah.
mm.
Okay, maliwanag na maliwanag. So, papasok na tayo sa 5. Mga kababayan, ang topic natin, 5 tips on how to build your
Mhm.
credit score. I-review ko lang, ano, number 1 tip was payment history.
Mhm.
Second, yung the amount you owe. Third
Mhm.
is the new credit. And number 4, yung length of credit history. So, what is number 5?
So, ang number 5 po lastly, and I think super important po talaga is the credit mix. Ibig sabihin, what are you spending for? Right? So, ano-ano po yung mga, is it necessity? Is it just wants? Right? So, super important po nitong last tip na to. Right? So, there are different types of credit po. Right? Credit cards, line of credits, may mga payday loans po. Ang tawag po dyan ay revolving debts. Right? It can go on and on and on and on, right? So yun po. And then we also have what we call secure debts, right? So ang tawag po doon is yun po yung mga car payments, right? Mortgages, investment loans, right? Kung meron pong CRA debts, wag naman po sana, student loans, right? So basically, those are pros and cons, right? Those are a mixture of credits. Diyan po determine if you're only spending on shopping or you're also spending on a secured debt, which is may property po towards it, right? Just like house, right? So if possible, both po nun ay present sa credit score ninyo or sa credit report
Yes.
ninyo, right? So asset and expenses,
Mm.
right? So hindi lang po dapat lahat is expense and expense and expense when it comes to, credit cards, right? Dapat po may mga assets ka din dyan, right? Isa na po doon siguro is that yung automatic payments po, right? Sa mga bills, phone bills, all those things, kasi po, necessity yon. Kung i-automatic niyo pong credit card yon, that's a mixture ng, okay, meron siyang necessity. That's not expense, right? But if you keep just spending on foods, alcohol, restaurant bills, shopping, then that's not a good sign, right? Because that also determines that you have a bad spending habits.
Are you telling us na talagang parang merong nagche-check ng ano na yan kapag ini-evaluate ka? Yung
Opo.
spending habits mo na grocery,
Yes.
travel, hotel,
Yeah.
gano'n?
'Di ba even bago na po yun ngayon, even sa mga bangko ninyo, meron po kayong spending,
Oo.
like report,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
So, meron pong, the most popular na company na nagche-check po ng that you can have your credit reports are TransUnion and Equifax,
True, true, yeah.
right? So, meron po talagang nagche-check nun, right? Because that's a huge factor and that's a huge conversation po dito sa Canada. So,
Grabe 'no? Oo, oo.
yeah, that is
Napaka-meticuloso rin pala talaga 'no, when it comes to determining your
mhm.
credit score to ano, if you can afford this or you know.
Yes. Kasi po, especially let's say for example, mortgage approval.
Yeah.
Yan, sobrang important po niyan, right? If yung asset mo po is just cash or meron kang good credit report. Hindi ka po talaga actually a good credit score po under so ang determination po niyan, right? So a credit score under 580 is considered poor, right?
580.
Yes, opo, 580. And 740 and higher are considered exceptional. Very, very good.
Mm,
Right? So if you're applying for, yung mga big purchases, then most
mhm,
likely
mhm.
you're good to go po.
Meron bang below for 500?
Yes,
Meron?
meron po.
Talaga?
Yeah. Yeah, pagka syempre tumagal na po yung utang niyo doon, kung may debt consolidation po, actually, pag-uusapan ko po yan in a short while, right? But yes, meron pong mga credit score na below 500. Right?
Wow.
That's why you have to, once in a while po, also one tip is that don't check it every now and then. Okay? Don't check your credit score every now and then. Siguro once a year po, it's a good thing to check it.
Merong sinasabi, oh, soft check lang ito. This is just a soft check. O kaya, it will not affect your credit score. How true is that?
Yeah, so yun po yung gusto kong sabihin then na hindi po monthly dapat chine-check ang credit score because that causes red flag. Right? If i-check po yan ng, let's say, of course, banko or, yung mga lenders, then they can. Right? But you yourself, don't just, click on an ad that says, okay, we'll check your credit report, right? Wag po yun. So, dapat dun sa mga, sa mga pre-purchase or sa mga events na may bibilin po kayo or mag-a-apply po kayo for a loan, dun lang po. Pero frequently checking it causes red flag. Hindi po siya advisable. Yeah.
So ano pa ang mga tips mo naman? Tapos na tayo halos dun sa 5
Yes.
tips on how to build the credit score. So what other tips you have just in case na negative yung kanilang,
Yes.
they know that they have negative or poor in credit score, how to improve it? Ano pa ang mga tips mo?
Yeah, so basically po, what messes your credit score? I would just want to quickly go through that, right? Obviously, if you mess with CRA, right? Don't do tax evasion, all of those things. And then bankruptcy.
Hold on,
This
punta tayo doon sa CRA kasi
Yes.
yung iba talagang binibuild sila doon sa CRA.
Yes.
Okay? So what do you mean na don't mess with CRA? Hindi nila binayaran on time?
Okay. Yeah, exactly. Yung mga hindi po nagbabayad ng sa CRA or pinapatagal po nila yung mga amounts owed nila. Because sometimes po magpa-pop up na lang yan, di ba? Na may utang ka sa CRA or sa Ministry of Finance dito sa BC. Lately po, naniningil sila ng mga, 3 years ago na benefits na binibigay nila, right?
Okay.
So, and there's no way to go around it, honestly, right? So you just have to pay it right away.
Okay, CRA, ano pa?
Yes, and then bankruptcy. Okay, so a lot of people who doesn't know about debt consolidation, which I really want to let everybody know, is that there is another option. You don't have to file for bankruptcy, right? There's another way which is called debt consolidation. So for us in our practice, we do that po and we help a lot of immigrants when it comes to that, right? So ang debt consolidation po is that, kumbaga, in a very simple manner, nakakat po ng isang debt consolidation company ang utang nila regardless of, except student loan. I just want to quickly say that, except student loan, we cannot touch student loan, right? So everything else, let's say for example, payday loans, yan mga Western Union, credit cards, nakakat po yan through a maximum 80%. That's a huge help po when it comes to, people who have so much debt. However, ano po ang effect nun sa credit score, right? Siyempre po, magkakaroon po tayo ng rating for 3 years. Okay? Pero, what we do po is that we help them build their credit score once again. Kasi po, imagine if you have a huge loan, right? Or huge credit balance owing, most people don't pay that in the next 3 years.
Yes.
Kasi sobrang laki po. So a lot of people who really understand that consolidation, and I will talk about it siguro po if they want help, I can do one-on-one. Kasi it's sometimes it's a sensitive topic and iba-iba pong situation, right? But really, debt consolidation is cutting your debt without going bankruptcy.
All right. I have 2 questions for you before
Yes,
we go on with that consolidation. How much is what is the amount of their debt that they should be considering debt consolidation?
Yeah. So I've mentioned earlier po, ang pinakamalaki kong nakita talaga is 70,000. Ang pinakamaliit ko naman pong nagawa is 13,000. So
13.
honestly, yeah, 13, 13.
Bakit naman siya nagpa-debt consolidate kung 13,000? Well, lang.
Yes.
Okay. Well, sa iba siguro hindi lang, pero kumbaga depends sa industry nila or sa age nila. And ang kapalit nun, meron silang 3-year rating. Yun nga ang susunod ko sa yung tanong. what
Correct. Yeah.
what is the effect of the 3-year rating? So, two questions ko sa'yo, bakit naman nagpa 13,000 lang and
Mm.
nagpa-consolidate na sila?
Yeah, because when before we proceed to debt consolidation pa, right, which we're helping our clients, ina-assess po muna namin sila sa debt nila and sa cash flow. What's her ability to make money? So
Mm,
this person doesn't have much ability to make more money.
mm,
So, yun po. And dapat po, of course, both parties agree to it na, okay, are you okay with going through the rating for 3 years, right? Because in the next 3 years, there's really no way for this person to pay that debt.
mm.
Kasi ang mangyayari po nun is tataas pa ng tataas yung debt niya because again, she cannot pay it, right?
Are you telling us that when you are within the 3-year rating, hindi ka makabili ng sasakyan?
Yeah. Kasi alam po ng mga lenders na nasa debt consolidation ka.
So hindi siya makakabili nga, sorry, hindi ko narinig yung question.
Yes, hindi po. So basically, it's still a red flag for lenders, right? But some people are willing to risk that to pay it off in 3 years, and then we just start rebuilding it. Yeah.
I see.
Again, to rebuild it again, ifa-follow lang po natin yung tips na binigay ko po kanina, and then we're gonna start all over again. So
Alright.
if you wanna build it fast, then we really have to go by, exact numbers. Kumbaga
Okay,
po.
sure. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Sige.
Kasi imagine nyo po, right? Like, dun sa loob ng 3 years na yon na may rating po kayo, 3 to 5 years po kasi yun. So, dun po sa loob ng 3 years na yon, you cannot still purchase a house or purchase a car if you have that much owing,
True.
right? So it's either we cut it right away and start repaying it in a very small amount. Like to be very kumbaga sorry, maybe I can cut that. So again, so kung i-explain ko po siya ng more specific,
Yeah.
yung 30,000 po na yon is a mixture of credit cards and Western Union,
Mm,
right? And binabayaran po niya every month sa Western Union is $800, which is more than half of her paycheck already,
mm,
right? So yung $800 po na yon, ngayon na nakat namin ang debt niya from 13,000 to 3,000 na
mm.
lang. Ang binabayaran niya na lang po monthly is $160.
Okay.
That's
Mhm.
So, kumbaga, that gives her more cash flow.
Yes.
And then, dun po kami magsa-start mag-rebuild ng financial foundation po niya.
Perfect. May tanong pa ako isa.
Yes
Okay
po.
lang.
Yes, of course po.
Alright, pero pwede na natin i-wrap up 'to, okay.
Yes.
Okay, so, sino nagbabayad nung 80% na nawawala doon sa debt nung tao?
So, basically, that's a very good question kasi ganyan din po ang question ng maraming clients, right?
Who pays for my debt? Something like that, right? Yeah.
So, the debt consolidation company, right, we work with, hindi ko po pwedeng banggitin, but sila po ang nakikipag-negotiate sa mga lenders.
I
My
see.
client cannot pay this anymore. It's either you take it or not. Parang ganun po. Yes.
Okay, so magandang ano yan, ano? Kasi
Yeah.
ang susunod ko sana ng tanong, how do they recover? O how do they get paid? But anyway, sige, iba pang topic yan eh.
Yes.
Ano pa ang yung, to summarize or to give more hope to those who are in debt?
So debt consolidation is a huge hope po, honestly, to to a lot of, kababayan din natin, right? And also even locals. I help local people with debt consolidation already.
Okay,
So
so are you telling us na would you say na ang forte mo is to help our kababayans with debt consolidation?
hindi naman po lang sa forte, but really for me, kasi in my practice po, I've seen that a lot of Filipinos, our kababayans, have debts. And they don't know about that consolidation.
That's
Right? Pero ang really and sometimes before I can even help them with saving, building emergency fund, building the financial foundation, I have to get rid of debt first. Di ba? So yun po muna yung first step if meron po silang debt, right? And to build them cash flow. Pero ang forte ko po talaga is to really teach them step by step how money works here. Protection.
Okay, ang final question ko sa'yo, inspire our kababayan. Ano ba ang isang story na natulungan mo sa ganyan at ano ang nangyari? Ano ang magandang outcome?
Mhm. Yeah, so siguro po yung sa mga clients ko na nag-start pa lang ng debt consolidation, right, is ngayon po yung cash flow, I would just say the 13,000, right? So yung 13,000 po na yun, siguro mga 20 plus years na siya dito sa Canada. Okay, 20 plus years. She doesn't have anything, okay? And when I met her, she just started knowing more about finances here. Okay, only have one credit card as well. Pero may emergency po kasi na nangyari sa family niya. That's why she has to, take a loan. Right? And this person, even though we don't want to go through debt consolidation, but she really is not capable on making more money. Right? Dun lang po sa cash flow na nadagdag sa kanya from 800 and binabayaran po niya is just a small amount of $100+ every month. The rest of the cash flow, where does it go? Towards her own protection plan and towards helping the family, the sick family member. So yun po. Pero ngayon po is we're still going through that process kasi medyo bago pa lang po yun,
Mhm.
right? And pero nakakapag-save na po siya because of the cash flow.
Nakaluwag kumbaga.
Nakaluwag, exactly. And then yun pong binabayad niya na $800 instead na for better things and for herself, napapangbayad po niya ng utang niya. Pero ngayon, she can utilize that money for other better things.
Nakaluwag at saka nakakatulog ng maayos. Kasi kapag,
Correct.
maraming bills, minsan
Yeah.
mahirap makatulog,
Honestly, study shows po na financial stress is the number one cause of a lot of health issues po. So, we have to solve it first.
Oo, kumbaga hindi
So,
lang pala doktor, mga kababayan ang pinupuntahan kung,
yeah, exactly.
stress kundi isang financial professional
Tama
katulad
po,
ni,
yes.
Carla.
Mhm,
Alright,
mhm.
okay, and last
Okay.
word.
Siguro po, what I want to leave everybody that's listening to us po, right? So these are just one of the most important things that, you have to learn when you're starting your life here in Canada. Don't just work hard, make sure your money works for you as well. And don't be afraid to, talk to a professional, right? Because, the reason why I also love what I do is because our clients never have to pay us, right? I just want to, quickly throw it out there. Hindi po kami binabayaran ng mga clients namin, right? And we do monthly seminars din po. We have free financial education that's open to public. Just reach out to me if you need any one-on-one advice or if you want to learn more about what I do and how I can help you. And I think don't be scared to use your credit cards. Okay? Don't be scared. Kasi kailangan po yan dito. You just have to know how to use it. That's why you have to seek professional help din po from, the professionals in the industry. And I think finances may not be the most important thing in this world, naman po, right? But it allows us to, have more time and to do more things for our family. So if anything, you can reach out to me po on
Yes.
email or you can
Yeah.
follow me on Instagram as
Yeah.
well.
What's your, how can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, so Instagram ko po handle ay cmesanas.co. And if you want to email me, it's cmesanasinfos@gmail.com.
Alright, perfect. Okay na.
Yes po.
Thank you so much for that very informative session, Carla Mecenas, our guest for today, a financial professional licensed in BC, Alberta, and Ontario. Thank you and good luck. I
Thank
hope
you po.
our kababayans learned a lot and they hopefully will get in touch with you
Yes.
to help them with their concerns. Okay.
Thank you so much po.
Thank you so much. So everybody, mga kababayan, yun na po. Thank you for watching ABC All About Canada, a program that informs, educates, and inspires our kababayans with important concerns happening in the Philippine-Canadian communities. Again, my name is Rovic Canono. I'm your host. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again.